present day, I've always trained everything because I've always wanted to learn everything. You know, I've never at any time thought, well, that's only sport, or that's only street, or that's only this, or that's only that. To me, it's always just been jiu-jitsu, which is this amazing art that I can't do enough of. Conversation about old school versus new school, street self-defense versus sport, blah, blah, blah. And the irony to me is that when I first started jiu-jitsu, there was the street dudes who were like these weird LARPers who did like these scenario training, and you'd see them training in the park, you know, and all this other stuff, doing real fighting, real combatives. And they were looking at us like these sports guys, that they were going to teach a lesson. And they would show up and get beat up, literally. And then they would either leave or they would join, right? And so to me, there was never a difference. It was always just, this is jiu-jitsu. We compete, but then we also beat up these street guys when they come in and show us that we're wrong, right? And so now fast forward to 2023, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and there's this discussion in jiu-jitsu about street fighting jiu-jitsu versus competition jiu-jitsu. And it's almost like we've lost our damn mind, right? Because now we're having this discussion about jiu-jitsu as if there's two separate things. And to me, there's not. You either train jiu-jitsu that wins, or you don't, right? But what I have an issue with is when people are like, listen, if you're not training this, if you're spending any time learning how to bolo, if you're spending any time learning how to get underneath, elevate people, get underneath of them and get on their legs, then you're wasting your time because you're not training to fight. And to me, that's just a huge disservice to students and coaches alike. Like, in this straight plus gym, we should be about all of it. We should be about curiosity-driven training, meaning I see something cool and I want to learn how to do it. I learned so many cool things from blue belts and purple belts because they are experimenting and finding cool things and learning cool things, and it's like, that's cool. I would never have seen that because I still don't have that same curiosity that they have. And I don't have those new eyes that they bring to the art. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when we're training, I want you guys to just dismiss any prejudice that's been put on you or you think comes from an organizational level where it's like, listen, if you don't train this way, if you're not willing to do 6 hours a day, 6 days a week of headlock escapes and headlock escapes only, you're not doing jiu-jitsu. Like, forget that, right? That's equally as absurd as saying, if you're not gonna do pulling daily Hiva guard, so pulling guard to daily Hiva to a sweep, 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, you're not doing jiu-jitsu, right? Wouldn't that be equally absurd? You know, and in no other art do we say that. When we get to jiu-jitsu, do we suddenly say, unless you're doing this, you're wrong. If you're not doing old school jiu-jitsu, stomp, kick, body lock, takedown, trip, get on top, mount, ground and pound, then you're not doing jiu-jitsu. Why do we suddenly do that? Why isn't it like a good friend of ours, Stephanie Basabi, has a saying, my jiu-jitsu is my business. You don't get to tell me how I do my jiu-jitsu. Right? Why is it then that when we get to this art, we suddenly decide, if you're not doing it this way, you're wrong? You guys to be curious. I encourage you guys to explore every aspect of jiu-jitsu you want to explore. I encourage you guys to train with as many different people as you can. Like the vice president of our organization, Travis Davison, brings in 10th Planet people to teach seminars at his gym. That's a clue, right? That's a clue. When one of the top dogs that's been with Matt since almost the beginning is like, I want to see what these 10th Planet dudes are doing. That's a clue for the rest of us. To not get sucked into this false dichotomy. Listen, I can fight. We all can fight. If I were to take you out right now and put you against a street fighter, every last one of you would do way better than you think you would. Right? So, pursue the art in anywhere that it takes you because it's only for the good of the organization. Pursue the art in every facet, everywhere that your curiosity drives you, you should chase it. And then bring it back to the rest of us. Just like Travis brings in the 10th Planet people, just like I've trained with Sambo guys, like judo. I brought my judo back to my jiu-jitsu, right? And that's what you guys should be doing. Does that make sense? So when we're teaching stuff like yesterday, we did false read, reverse daily heave and the false reap, and you know, in the real world, you wouldn't do that. That's garbage jiu-jitsu for a real fight. Well, yeah, but in the real world, I'm not going to be going to the ground if I can help it. You know, and I'm going to be throwing you, hitting you with the planet, right? That's where my judo is going to come in. And then today we're going to be doing lapel stuff, all about lapel, right? And there might be some that would say, well, that has no application in the real world, in a real fight. True, but I like winning, and I like my people to win. And so when my people are up there to compete, I like seeing them get their hand raised, and not the other person get their hand raised, because my people didn't know how to deal with lapel guard. Make sense? All right, cool. Any questions on that?